I'm Mr. Reed from Wolverhampton Music Service. This video is to support trombone players with some basic maintenance on your instrument. You're not going to need many things to do it, but you might want to get some help from your parents just to give you a hand while you're doing it to make sure that you don't have any problems. The first problem you might encounter is your mouthpiece is stuck in the instrument. If it is, the best thing to do for the moment is simply leave it there. You may be able to fit your instrument in your case with the mouthpiece still in place, in which case that should be okay as you're not going to be carrying it around too much. If not, you'll simply have to leave your instrument out of the case, find somewhere safe for it up until the point you are able to get your mouthpiece sorted out again by your teacher. You may be finding while you play that it feels as though the air is leaking out of the instrument. This could literally be happening, in which case it is most likely to be the spit valve or water key at the bottom of the instrument. What you should see is the curved piece of metal that hinges round, and then inside the end of it is a small piece of rubber or cork that is sealing up the hole on the bottom of the instrument where the spit comes out. If that cork or rubber has disappeared, then the air will simply be leaking out. The solution is very simple. You get yourself a small paper towel, tear off a section, and then fold it up so that it's just a small square like that, and then open it up and jam it in there. That will be enough to seal the end of the instrument while you play it for the moment. It will get a little bit soggy over time, so you'll have to replace it, but it will do the job for the moment. There is a metal spring here on the spit valve that forces it closed. If you find that that is broken, then that is a big inconvenience because it won't work properly. The solution is to either get a hair bobble or elastic band and tie it around it, which is a bit awkward to do, or you could possibly simply get a piece of sellotape and wrap it round to hold it closed. Now, if you do the sellotape, the problem then will be that you won't be able to let the spit out of the instrument, so what you'll have to do is turn the trombone the other way up to let that out. Next, the most common problem you will face with your trombone slide, namely the slide sticking slightly. If it does, it's not a major problem, and there are two simple solutions. Number one, pull your slide open a little bit and you'll see there is the inner part of the slide and the outer part of the slide. All you need to do is get a bit of water on the inner part of the slide, either with a teaspoon and just pour just a little bit down each slide and then move the slide up and down. Doesn't matter if any water pours out, you can just dry it off, it's not going to harm the instrument. Or if you've got a bit more advanced like me, I have a spray bottle. It's just a cheap one that I bought, and this one produces a nice fine mist of water, which works even better. But that will probably solve the problem. If your slide is still sticking, you might feel that you would like to try to re-grease your slide. If you do, there's a few things you will need. First of all, you'll need a cloth. I happen to have a small towel. Then you'll need some water. I have my spray bottle with the water, and you will need something to put on the slide. There is a whole variety of expensive slide creams you can buy, but there are some very cheap options that you might already have at home. This one is simply cold cream. Also, Nivea cream will do the job. It's basically just a simple oily cream. You don't need much of it, so don't panic whoever this belongs to. There's only a tiny bit going to be used. So, if you're going to have a go, the first thing you do is take your slide off, making sure you notice which way round the slide goes for putting it back on later on, and we want the inner part of the slide. I'm going to take my cloth and just rub it along the whole length of the slide. You may find that near the end, there's a little bit of cream gets stuck if it's dried. You might also notice that there's a little thicker bit here at the bottom. These are called the stockings, and the cream tends to catch against the stockings. So just give it a good clean. If you can't get it to come off, water will work, or even soap, just to get it nice and clean. Then, what you're going to do is you're going to take your cream. You only need a tiny little bit of the cream, you don't need much. This is plenty on the end of my finger. Where the stocking section is, on one of the slides, I'm going to now just wipe the cream on, going all the way around, and I want just enough so that I can see it. I get a tiny bit more. Just enough so that I can see it all around the slide. It's just made it very slightly white. Then, same thing with the other one, another tiny finger of cream. That's all you need. You don't need very much at all. And that now means that the end of the slide there is just a little bit opaque. It's not as shiny as it was. Then I get the slide back the same way up it was before, get my outer slide and put the two together, just carefully making sure they stay straight and they will go on. Then move the slide in and out a few times. Simple as that. Then I take the slide back off again, get my water. I have a spray bottle. You might just be pouring it down, but give it a spray. You don't need loads. And then putting the slide back on again, making sure you've got them the right way up, put the slide back on again, and they should now slide in and out quite happily. It's as simple as that.